This is ABTV, Animal Bites Television. For animal lovers, by animal lovers.
Moms are great. If you didn't have a mom, then you wouldn't exist right now, and I wouldn't have a date tonight. That was a dumb joke. Mother's Day was yesterday, but I'm going to extend the celebration to today and include not only human moms, but non-human moms as well. In this video, we'll take a look at some of the most bizarre parenting methods used by mothers throughout the animal kingdom. My name is Jason Miller, and you're watching 5 Weird Animal Facts. Number 1 on our list is the gastric brooding frog. Right off the bat, you notice something a bit odd about the frog's name. Gastric meaning pertaining to the stomach, and brooding meaning incubating. This means exactly what it sounds like. The incubation, hatching, and metamorphosis of this frog takes place completely inside the mother frog's stomach. After she lays her eggs, she swallows them. And the eggs release a chemical called PGE2, which stops the production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. That way, the eggs aren't, digested. Once the eggs hatch, they stay in their mother's stomach for up to 6 weeks while they metamorphose into froglets. During this time, her stomach expands to take up the majority of her body cavity, and she stops eating entirely. Once the metamorphosis is complete, she regurgitates the baby frogs out of her mouth. Birthing can take up to a week to complete, but if she's disturbed during this process, she just vomits them all out at once. Which has to look hilarious. Unfortunately, this frog was declared extinct in 1981, only 8 years after its discovery. But scientists are working to bring them back using preserved genetic material. Like Jurassic Park, but with a frog that pukes babies. Number 2 is much less hands-on with her children. And it's safe to say that this is one of the laziest mothers in the animal kingdom. Meet the common cuckoo. This bird is what's known as a brood parasite, meaning that she tricks birds of other species into caring for her baby. The deadbeat cuckoo finds a nest full of eggs, kicks one of the eggs out, and replaces it with her own. The entire process takes about 10 seconds, and then the mother cuckoo leaves before the unwilling foster parent returns to the nest. So one of the baby birds looks a little different from the others. No big deal, right? Not quite. The common cuckoo is much larger than the other birds in the nest. So much so, in fact, that it kicks its adopted brothers and sisters out of the nest so it gets all the attention from mommy. Before it's big enough to leave the nest, the fledgling cuckoo can be over 3 times the size of the bird taking care of it. Adding insult to injury, the mother cuckoo can lay up to 50 eggs per season. That's 50 nests that will never produce the kind of baby birds that it was supposed to. Just one fat sibyllicidal baby cuckoo hogging all of mom's attention. Speaking of unwilling parents, let's move on to number 3, the sea louse. Most sea lice are parasitic and rely on a host animal for breeding. But one species takes an even more disturbing route to parenthood. Here's how the love story plays out. The male sea louse lures up to 25 females into his burrow somewhat forcibly and impregnates all of them. He keeps them prisoner in his creepy love dungeon until the babies are born. But this birth is somewhat unconventional. The dozens of baby sea lice actually eat their way out of their mom. They chew their way out of her body and leave her carcass to rot without even saying thank you. Makes Norman Bates seem like a nice dude. Number 4 on our list also sacrifices everything for her children, but in a much more heartwarming way. The Pacific octopus. She is arguably the most dedicated mother in the animal kingdom. Her story begins when she lays about 56,000 eggs. They float freely in the water until she gathers them up into groups and then stitches them together in a nursery, usually an underwater cave that she's reinforced with rocks. This cave will be her home for the rest of her life. She attaches the strands of eggs to the roof of the cave and routinely blows water over them to keep them aerated and clean. She spends 5 to 6 months caring for the eggs and guarding them from predators. During this time, she doesn't leave the den or eat anything. When the eggs finally hatch, she uses the last of her energy to help guide them out of the cave and into the open ocean. Once all of her children have left, she dies of starvation and exhaustion. If that wasn't depressing enough, on average only 2 of the 56,000 babies survive to reach adulthood. That's enough sadness. Let's end this list the way we started it, with a weird amphibian. This is the Suriname toad. The Suriname toad is a very protective mother that doesn't leave her eggs for a second. And even if she wanted to, she couldn't because they're under the skin on her back. During mating, the male toad fertilizes up to 100 eggs and places them into craters on the female's back. The female grows skin over these craters, and they stay there during the 4 months of pregnancy. And when the toadlets are ready to emerge, they punch their hands through the holes on their mother's back and swim off to do baby toad stuff. I imagine this either itches, tickles, or is excruciatingly painful. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments section what animals and topics you'd like to see in future episodes. Like 5 Weird Animal Facts on Facebook and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Miller's Wildlife. Because if you don't, my mom will never be proud of me. Make sure to subscribe to Animal Bites TV for more awesome animal things and stuff, and I will see you next Monday on 5 Weird Animal Facts.
I'm a wildlife rescuer, field expert, and conservationist. Welcome to Corey's Wild World.
This is ABTV,